Hello everybody and welcome back to another Farming Simulator 22 how-to video. Today we're going to be talking about organic fertilizer. That's right, liquid manure, solid manure, and digestate. But before that, this video is brought to you by Jamberry. Thank you for being a farm baron. So the first part of this video is really not for the Farm Sim veteran, but for the Farm Sim newbie. Someone who's new to the franchise may not really fully understand what the big deal is or how to make use of manure, slurry, and digestate. So here we are on Elm Creek on my test save, and thanks to my 108 Piggly Wigglies, I have myself plenty of liquid manure and plenty of solid manure. So let's talk about how we get solid manure real fast. You didn't check out my animal video on pigs or cows. In order to have solid manure, we have to put straw in either the pig pen or the cow pasture. So we've got right now plenty of straw in the pig pen. And once we have straw in the pig pen, we also need to put down a manure silo extension. And we have to place that somewhere reasonably close to the animal area. So if we go to the build mode, we have to put down the silo extension, the manure heap extension, this one right here. And once we do that, then we'll start getting manure to spawn in the area, assuming we have already put the straw in the pig or cow pen. Now, as far as getting liquid manure, we get liquid manure right away. The pigs and the cows will start producing liquid manure once we provide them some food. And that's going to come out right here. Now, there's a few different ways that we can get the manure out of the heap and into our spreader. One of the ways is to use a manure fork, like we have here. Just scoop on in. And then dump it in and just keep repeating that process over and over and over and over. We also have the ability to use a belt. And we demonstrated the use of the belts in our biogas plant video. So you may want to go back and reference that. But a new way, a much faster way to fill our manure spreaders, Farm Sim 22, well, it's just to back up right here beside it and hit R. And there you go. Look at that. We've now filled our manure spreader with manure, and our heap has gone down a little bit. How about that? Now, as far as liquid manure goes, we're just going to pull up here to where this pipe is on either the pig or the cow pen. We're going to hit R to fill, and now we are filling with liquid manure. Now let's talk about where we get these pieces of machinery in the shop. So if we go to shop menu, tools, there's going to be a Manure Spreaders and a Slurry Tanks category. Under Manure Spreaders, we have several base game manure spreaders. And they're going to be able to hold various capacities of manure and spread various widths of manure. Now, the first one I want to point out, because I didn't really realize this until just today. This particular Farmtech manure spreader, according to the help text here, is ideal for grape and olive farming. I was looking at it and I'm like, wow, this thing is awful narrow. Well, it's narrow to get between the rows of grapes and olives. How cool is that? Then we have the Brantner TA 1250 Power Spread Plus. That's the one we're going to be demonstrating with today. And this one actually has a unique capability. Right now it has an 8-meter spread width, but we can add a different spreading system to it, and now it has a 15-meter spreading width. Then we move up the product chain with the Manure Director 14, the SLC 141. Now this one is a side discharge. It will discharge out of the left side here. It does not discharge out the back like all the other ones. And then we just keep moving up and up and up into the bigger and bigger manure spreaders. Now for slurry tanks, we're going to be demonstrating here with the Farmtech Super Size 800. Then we have a few transport trailers to transport slurry or digestate from the respective fill locations to the field. We have a pair of Garant storage tanks. Now, the way these are used is you transport these to the field empty, and then you would fill these at the side of the field, probably with one of these or a larger trailer. And then you would be able to come by and fill from this your actual slurry tanker in order to then go out and supply the field. So this is kind of an intermediate storage area, but you don't want to haul this down the road full of slurry because it holds 55,000 liters. That is a whole heck of a lot of stink water for sure. Then we have things like this. This one is a tank, but it really doesn't do anything but hold slurry or digestate on its own. It needs an applicator. And in those cases, we come down here to combinations, and we can see what is paired with that other particular piece of machinery. So we can see the Spider SP6834. This one and this one are paired together. We have the Farmtech Polysys 1550. Then we move on up the chain. And then we once again get to things like this, which have a tank, but nothing to apply it with. We can hit combinations, and we can see a different various applicators that we can use with it, as well as suggested front weights. And it just continues on. The Garant TSA 30,000. This is a semi tanker that is used to transport slurry. So once again, you would use something like this to fill these that are beside the fields. And we keep on moving up the product stack and product stack until we get to the Kloss Xerion Saddle Track Pack, which, if you pre-ordered Farm Sim 22, you're going to have access to this. Once again, we click on that. Combinations. You can see the Xerion 4200 Saddle Track, the actual piece of machinery that this connects to, as well as the Digestate 800, which is the actual applicator that's going to be used to pair up with either the semi-trailed tanker or the saddle track tanker that is right here. So with that information, let's go and see about putting this stuff down on the field. Now we're over here on field 34, and this particular field is cultivated, but you're going to find that it is not fertilized. Okay? We have no fertilization on this field at this point. If we bring up our F1 menu, we're going to see that we have an interesting setting here. It says activate doubled application rate. So when I did my slurry, or not my slurry, but my sprayer and spreader variable width video, I commented that I really wasn't sure what this application rate change key binding was. And I projected that it was probably for something like precision farming. Well, some folks reminded me that with organic fertilizer, like slurry, digestate, and manure, we can actually double our application rate. And in order to do that, we basically hit comma. And when we do that, we're going to get 2 layers of fertilization in one pass. So let's take a look. So now we have one pass. We have our one layer of fertilizer. We're going to hit double application rate. And now it says double normal rate or activate normal rate. So if it says activate normal rate, then we have double rate. If it says activate double rate, then we have normal rate. Okay. So now we have double the rate. You can see we used basically 33% of our tank in that one pass. Now let's make a second pass. And you'll notice we're going a whole lot slower now. So we're not magically dumping product out twice as fast because the pump has a certain capacity that it can pump. What we're doing is we're just going slower. So we're putting twice as much product on the ground in essence. And then as a result, we're only going to have to do one single pass on this particular field. Let's just turn that off. And if we look now, you're going to see that we have the darker color because we just applied 2 coats of fertilizer in one pass. Now let's talk about the manure spreader. So we also have the same activate double application rate on the manure spreader. So we need to unfold most manure spreaders. We open up the doors. And then we need to turn it on. And there we go. We get a nice spread animation. We get a nice texture on the ground. And we're going 10 miles per hour. So if on our return pass, we do the activate double rate, you're going to see that we're going to be going slower. Let's go ahead and hit comma. And we'll turn on the spreader. And now we are suddenly going 5 miles an hour. And we are dumping the product out at the same rate we were dumping it out earlier. But since we are going slower, we're applying more to the field. And again, as a result, we are getting 2 layers of fertilization here versus 1. Now, the last thing I wanted to set up and show you is the Kloss Xerion saddle track, and we're going to apply Digestate. And to apply the Digestate, we're going to use this applicator. So we're going to need to unfold the applicator, lower it down to the ground, and turn it on. Sorry about that. And we are now applying Slurry direct or Digestate directly into the ground. This is going at 9 miles per hour. And then if we hit the comma to double the application rate, this particular tool, interesting enough, seems to have the capability of doubling the application rate and keeping the same application speed. Nope. No, it slowed us down. That may be an interesting little bug. Let's hit this. So now we're going normal application rate. Double application rate. Okay, we slowed down. Just like that. You can see where we had our single pass. So we doubled it, we went to single again, and then we doubled it again. Now, as far as where do you get Digestate? Well, digestate comes from the biogas plant. And here on Elm Creek, the biogas plant is just over here. Depending on the map you're playing on, the biogas plant could be, well, really just about anywhere. Or you could place your own biogas plant, because there are 3 different placeable biogas plants included in the base game. And you're going to withdraw your slurry from around the corner here on Elm Creek. Simply look for this particular icon on your biogas plant to figure out where you're going to withdraw digestate from there. And this is where you're going to pull your digestate out here at biogas plant on Elm Creek. So guys, I hope that cleared up a little bit of questions you may have had with respect to organic fertilizer, manure, and slurry with respect to, one, where do you get manure? Where do you get slurry? And once you have manure and slurry, how do you apply it to the field? And the magical what does the comma do? What does the increase application rate or change application rate do? Well, it allows you to double the application rate, but only of organic fertilizer. And the way it does that is by decreasing the speed of your vehicle on the field. So until next time, happy farming.